Hey there, wanted to make this video about the LINX device and what to expect after the surgery and pros, cons, things of that nature. Um, when I was doing research for the procedure, I didn't find much videos of or commentary, reviews on people that had have it. So I wanted to do something to help inform those that are thinking about it, um, what my take on it was. Um, One, if you're looking this up, you've already have extreme acid reflux or heartburn. So, one, I am a strong supporter of it. I wish I would have done it sooner. I've been taking prescriptions for 15 years, PPIs daily, um, Protonix, Nexium, Dexlant there at the end for years and years, and then it just got to where those weren't working, and I was potentially at risk for Barrett's esophagus and more severe um, anatomy changes if I didn't get it fixed. So I know it was time. I wish I would have done it earlier. But um, the procedure is fairly simple. It's a day in the hospital, stayed overnight. In my personal instance, they fixed a hiatal hernia while I was in there. Um, Went home the next afternoon. Took about a week off of work. About I did mine, I think, on a Friday, and took the long weekend, um, and took a couple of days during the week with it before I went back to work. About 5 6 days. Uh, Day one, they give you a soft diet, which is um, crushed ice, Italian ice, yogurt, things of that nature. Day two, expanded into maybe other soft foods, jellos, other things, soft breads, things of that nature. Um, Chew very small bites and very, very well. That is something that you will learn quickly during the recovery phase. Is You have to open and close the device as the tissue around it is healing. And so your doctor will tell you that you will need to work it out as the scar tissue heals around it and you break it in. So, not as bad the first few days. Going into about a week after, which your doctor will tell you this, you'll start to notice that your esophagus, that you may have a little bit of a stuck feeling as food goes down. Um, Small bites, again, and chewing food extremely well. You're going to do that for the first few days on the soft diet. Then you can move into after 3 4 days. Each person is different. Let me turn that off. You'll move into just regular foods slowly. Sandwiches, um, just kind of easing back into your normal diet. Chewing well and chewing often. Um, Swallowing slowly, and always have a drink by. Something warm to drink. Um, Hot tea, coffee, um, anything warm. Anything cold is going to have the opposite effect. It's going to, and I don't know how to describe the reaction, but a ice water or a really cold drink would seize my. It would almost make it feel constricted, to where it made it harder to swallow the food. So no cold drinks with meals. Um, I would have around day 10. I could eat anything that I wanted, back to a diet, but must go slow and chew well. Um, your doctor will instruct you to eat often, every couple of hours, to keep the valve opening and closing to break it in. You're going to stay on that for a couple of weeks. Um, I think I did it from, from 2 weeks up to about week 4. I was just eating, having multiple snacks a day. Really wanted to make sure I followed the instructions and broke it in right, which I did. And so it was a lot of work. You know, it's hard to try to eat every couple hours during the day, but um, if you do it, it breaks it in right, and things will be flawlessly in the end. Um, Day 13, and I remember because I had actually made notes, a little journal, a journal of my recovery. I was having hiccup fits, and hiccups are when fluid or food or mucus or whatever builds up in your esophagus, and um, you go into hiccup fits. And at that stage, they were painful for me. Bring you to your knees, painful. So, um, drinking warm fluids to help massage things down and flush your esophagus into your stomach um, is a must. I think if you get those hiccup fits, um, eating while standing up, I know that's not pleasant, but I would eat standing up. It just helps things go down versus sitting down and hunched over. The more that you're upright, up straight, um, that's going to help your body massage that bolus of food down as well. Um, as far as activities and being strenuous, I would say give it 2 months. They tell you, I think, 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, but um, to make sure that everything seats and your wounds are healing up, I'd recommend before any strenuous activity, give it closer to 8 weeks. Um, you certainly don't want to re-rupture anything or pop any stitches, even as it's healing, and have to go back and redo something, especially if you're having a hernia fixed at the same time. Um, I would say full recovery um, was probably more about the 4 month mark. I got back to full diet and eating normal. Now, what I say by eating normal is I had a tendency before to be a fast eater, and I still, it's something that I work on constantly, even today, even 8 months later. But um, when I was sitting down and eating, it was taking me an hour and a half to 2 hours to eat a meal when everybody else was done, and it was almost exhausting to eat because you're chewing so much. One of the foods that liked to stick with me was rice. Chinese food with rice would get hung up for me all the time. Um, I've heard different stories, other people, certain foods. Actually, the more coarse foods go down easier than the softer, slicker foods, if you will, because it's harder for your esophagus to grab them and massage that food down past the device into your stomach. Um, but 4 months, I mean, life was, for the most part, 90% back to normal. So that's just something to expect. It's you're not going to be 100% in a month. Um, yeah, activities after 2 months, you can go back to working out. Lifting is normal if you go to the gym. One thing that I will say, being on the PPIs for so long, is I tried to stop the medication immediately after the surgery, and I actually had to go back on the pills for a brief period of time because my body had a rebound experience. I started mass producing acid and had a sour stomach. Now, none of the acid was coming up into my esophagus. It was all contained in my stomach, but it was an overdrive, just because it had been suppressed for so long. And the lining of your stomach and your biology and just your chemical balance, it has to rebalance out if you've been on the prescriptions for a long time. So I went back at the advice and direction of my doctor. I went back on the medication for a week, just as normal, every day. And then the second week, I went to every other day. And then the third week, I went to about every 3 to 4 days. And then I would say that I was taking a pill once or twice a week, and I did that for about 3 weeks. So I kind of slowly weaned myself off the medication. Once I got past, I would say, the 2, 3 month mark, um, I didn't take the medication at all anymore after that. I just had to wean myself off of it. Your body's naturally balances itself out. It just, the lining of your stomach has to get used to a more acid production, has to get used to the device. Um, so don't be discouraged if you've just had this done and you're in month one and you're thinking, wow, I'm not normal. I made a poor decision. Give it more time. Like I said, 4 months is about what it took for me to get to the 98, 99% mark. So don't be discouraged if you're in month two and it's still, you feel like things are getting stuck, and um, you know, you have episodes when you sit down at a meal. I mean, don't get discouraged. It takes time, and they don't tell you that up front. Um, you will get back to eating normal. It just takes a few months, but normalcy does come back. Um, so if you've just had it, you're still in those early stages, everything that you're experiencing is normal. Just give it some more time, eat often, chew well, all the things just talked about, and in the long term, you'll be all the better for it. If you haven't had it done and you're thinking about getting it done, I am a pro advocate of the LINX device. It's changed my life. I'm completely off the medications. I can eat what I want. I used to avoid certain trigger foods and um, Mexican restaurants and jalapenos, just the spicy foods. Now I can eat what I want. It doesn't affect me. Um, my bed's not elevated anymore. I mean, the LINX, I am a pro advocate of it. I wish I'd known about it sooner. I looked at other procedures and surgeries, and this is definitely the way to go. Um, I wish more people had more knowledge of it and more information about it, of just how well it can improve your quality of life if you struggle with reflux and chronic heartburn. Talk to your doctor and ask about the LINX device. So, just a video. Hopefully, I kind of recapped a lot of information. That if you've got questions about what the recovery is like and whether or not to get it, hopefully, I answered those questions. And thanks for watching.